Looks like patch 32.2.2 is here. Lots of changes from what I could see from the graphic that they released yesterday. Let's start with minions and heroes. Looks like Brandon's gotten a slight buff. It was last season it was 4 battle cries. This season they nerfed it to 6. Now it's in between. It's at 5 battle cries. Armor's been reduced for the new hero from 12 to 9 armor in duos. That's the one that gives you oil every turn. And then buttons, the one that gives you a greater trinket on for an 8, I think, is now 13 armor at higher ranks and 9 armor in duos. Still 10 armor at lower ranks. Interesting. I never knew that they could do that. It's a cool change that they can actually do armor, different armors at different skill levels to balance for the different metas. I kind of like that. I didn't know that was a thing, but okay. Okay, so they did change it. They made it a tavern spell. It's a pretty big nerf. I mostly was using this for getting the triple rewards multiple times in a turn, and it was really strong. It's probably a good change, although I did think the other version was very interesting and fun. I don't mind having broken units in the game, to be honest. I think it makes the game more interesting sometimes. Now it's now a 5-4 instead of 5-1. And that's it? Okay. I guess they're just making the stat line a little bigger because it's kind of a bad unit overall so far. I don't know. It might be useful at some point, but right now only Overflow Beatles has been played. I haven't really seen too much other versions of Beatles. Now giving 3-3 instead of 2-2. And this also got a buff. Instead of giving 4-3, it's now giving 5-5. So I think they're gonna change Catacomb, it sounded like. And then this will probably be their way of trying to make it not too weak now. I think what this does is it doesn't allow you to like overflow as much. So you just overflow 1, it'll give the buff. If it overflows again, it gives you the buff. But it doesn't give you like 30 buffs for like 1 overflow. I think that's what it means. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but yeah. Oh wait, it's tier 5 now. Oh. Okay, so it's been majorly nerfed then. Okay. And this has been moved down to tier 4. Interesting. I kind of like this change. It's pretty interesting. They buffed this to a 2-1. Definitely seemed kind of weak when I played it the other day. I did win the game, but it was only because my income was scaled enough for it to not matter what I was doing. And this has been moved down to tier 4 with no other change. It's kind of cool. That does make dragons a lot more powerful. So I kind of like this change. And this has been given a little bit more stats. Now it's a 4-8. Basically just dragons getting a bunch of buffs, looks like. This is now giving 10 attack instead of 7 attack. They really want you to play some dragons. This got moved from tier 5 back down to tier 2. And it's now a 4-5. I think that's a good change. I think this was a useless tier 5. It's a very depressing thing to discovery reward. So I think it's good that they got that out of there. Light spawn has been nerfed. Now it only gives 1 health instead of 1-1. And it swaps every turn. Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty big nerf. It's also been moved down to tier 5 though. So you get it a little bit earlier. So I kind of like this change. Elementals were overperforming. They've decided to move this up to tier 6. Okay. And then it gives it a little bit more stats. Yeah. I like it. I think it's a good change. This one's been buffed. It now gives 4-4 instead of 3-2. Everything else is the same. This now gives 4-4 stats. So they're trying to buff the Nomi version of elementals. And this has been moved down to tier 2. Wow. Same stat line. That's pretty crazy. That seems pretty good stat line for tier 2. So kind of surprised by that. Oh, okay. So it's no longer after you play 2 spells. Now it's just at the end of your turn. So you can't get like ridiculous amounts of triggers. It's better on its own now, but it has more of a ceiling on it now. You can't spam spells with it. And automaton's actually been buffed. Interesting. It now gives 3/2 stats. Kind of surprised by that. I thought automatons were fine when I was playing it, but I guess you do need the right stuff for it to be good. So this has been given a stat line buff to 3/2. Very good change. And this now gives 1/1 instead of only 1 health. I also like this change. I think it's much stronger. It's no longer able to break the game and give everything. Now it can only give itself stuff. So it's a pretty good unit.
It's a 3/6.
It's at tier 5, so I kind of like it. It also makes this other unit viable again. So it's a good change. Glad that it's back in the game. I honestly didn't even get to play with it and it got removed so fast. Oh, but it's by each bonus keyword in your warband instead of on the specific unit. Okay. That's what it is. Okay. That makes more sense. So it's actually like, it could be a buff in some ways. I'm not sure. It might be about the same. Hard to say. But I kind of like it. It's pretty good. I like the AoE buffs, cards like that. And then it makes the trinket also better. That gives you the end turn effects on this. This is the same card. It just has a lower stat line now. And this has been moved to tier 4. I honestly didn't think this card was that strong, but I guess they just don't want to have them both tier 3. And this has been moved down to tier 4. It's a big buff. On tier 5 it did seem kind of underwhelming, but on tier 4 maybe it's playable. And this has been moved back down to tier 2. I like this change. I think on tier 3 this was unplayable and pretty pathetic. This has been given a bigger stat line. Good change. I do like this unit. I think it's good to like golden like an automaton or like a tier 2 beetle or something like that. Good change. They're just trying to make pirates a little more viable. Okay, another mini stat buff. And this has been buffed. I don't know. I've been hearing that pirates are not good, so I don't know if I should take this. It now gives 1/2 and 2/3. Okay. Okay, this has been given a slight stat buff just to make it so it doesn't die too easily. This has been moved up to tier 4. I think it makes sense. On tier 3 it's actually not very good because you don't really want it that early when you have no gem generation yet. And then it kind of makes sense to just be later. And it's also kind of overpowered as the trinket that can discover it on 3, so I think it's a good change. This has been moved down to tier 5. I think that's a good change. Most of the time I didn't have enough income to actually make this good, so I think it's a good card. If at the tier 5, at tier 6 it was not very good. And honestly this is still not the build you're going to be playing, but yeah. It might be good in duos when you have like foodie scaling and stuff like that and a big income spike. 3 little cool board has been moved to tier 6. Wow. Yeah, honestly, probably deserved. It seemed weird that all the tier 6 cool board were worse than the tier 5 ones. So I think this is actually a correct swap here. And this has been moved down to tier 3 since regular undead have been pretty terrible. That's where it was last season, so good change. The stat line's been changed slightly. And this is now Avenge 4 and a slightly more health. That actually might be enough of a change to maybe make it okay. Avenge 5 was kind of ridiculous. This now gives 2/1 instead of 1/1 stats. Pretty good change. Not really sure if Undead will be playable yet, but it's definitely a good change. Okay, this has been reverted back to last season's version. I like this change. It was pretty pathetic that all the tier 6 elementals were actually better than Behemoth at this point, and Nomi was underperforming as well. So I think this is a good change. It makes Nomi much more viable and makes this actually like an interesting thing to pick up again. This now gives 3/3 stats instead of 2/2. I think they're just trying to push the second time doesn't even do anything. It's kind of weird actually why it was at 2/2 because I think it was 3/3 last season, and I think it was also 3 cost last season. So it was kind of strange to me that this was only 2/2. But I think they thought that the spell scaling stuff was stronger than it was, and so they just wanted to be cautious about it. Each keyword, it has repeat each keyword
Should have frozen that.
in your warband. Oh wow. Okay, so this is actually good now. That means that that other Murloc up above that I kind of ignoring is actually pretty good. So I think
It's not a lot
Murlocs
of
actually
damage.
might be in a much better place now. Because you got this guy that'll give you a bunch of those, and then you have this guy which will get a bunch of keywords, and all of a sudden you can buff your whole board with Hackerfin. So I do think Murlocs probably do have a couple different builds now. I don't know how they'll perform compared to other things, but overall, so far really liking the patch. I guess we'll take a quick look at the trinkets.
See better.
Go ahead and hire one of these recruits.
Not sure.
You can still make a comeback.
Lots of bad cards still here.
Nice work out there. Keep up the pressure.
I wouldn't be caught dead.
Are we really going to switch into pirates? I mean, into mech? Probably not, right? Sure.
So anyway, I started blasting.
Huh?
Dead engines do tell tales. Surely this way is west. A melody of love.
What? Okay. Next turn, I
Have a good battle, friend.
Buy that shop, I guess.
pull their weight.
The gang zone!
Just 12 fathoms away now.
I'll avenge you, Captain.
It's awkward because I want to buff my AoE guy, but
The odds are in my favor.
You didn't make the cut!
You're doing great out there. You're good at this. Now we're in business. That's quite the army you're building, friend.
Electron powered up. Ha! The gang zone!
You're down a minion and up a gold.
Precious. You didn't make the cut! Pray for mercy. Death is not the end.
You're doing great out there. Nice work out there. Keep up the pressure. wait to see this shakeout. I like where you're going with this. Exactly what you were looking for. That's a great play. I can't wait to see this shakeout.
Just 12 fathoms away now.
Scared to death. Ha! The game's all here.
Go ahead and hire one of these recruits.
A melody of love. A melody of love.
Okay. It's looking pretty good.
Great out there.
It's close.
Welcome back. How's it going out there?
Ha! The game's all here.
Hold in my hat.
You're down a minion and up a gold.
I think this is too late.
That'll do some damage.
A melody of love.
Just 12 fathoms away now.
You're doing great out there.
Why are games getting hard? Is it because it's the weekend? Look up.
The battle is really raging out there.
It's a lot of fucking health.
That's what I would have picked. That's what I would have picked.
think I need an eat or something. I don't want to really give up this much stats.
I think you can win this thing.
Good time. So it's probably a top 4 build. I mean, I do need an eat or something to make this work.
Your minions really pulled their weight.
Lyric helps actually.
It's good to get some minions in play.
Let's see.
The odds are in my favor. So anyway, I started blasting.
The gang zone.
So very shiny. A melody of love.
Down a minion and up a goal. Keep up the momentum, friend.
Yeah. I mean, 2 Leroys and one of them would have to be near the end.